What's good, everybody? Today was a beautiful day on the charts. The system played out beautifully today, but unfortunately I hopped off the charts maybe 5 minutes before the trade actually played out and presented itself. So I'm not mad or anything, just a W day to add to our conviction and show us what our system can do if we simply let it play out. So today I'm going to be going over the price action from the entire day, how my bias switched up, how I can apply the market maker model principles, and how we can get W entries and catch efficient moves in the market. So without further ado, let's get it in. I already know, most important thing. Beautiful shit. All right, let's get it. I'm gonna clear up the charts for y'all before we hop down and do a little bit of top down. I know that shit's boring, but we have to do it, bro. You have to see how the market evolved for the day, right? So opening the market, it was 9 a.m. So we'll just put a quick little vertical line on this candle just to show you guys the perspective of what we were looking at before market opened, right? So opening the market right here, we really don't have anything to add to our bias. Looking to the left, we really have ES is a much stronger asset and NQ kind of lagging behind, but we really don't have anything to add to our bias. Like, simply looking at this, we open the day in the middle of a range, literally at equilibrium of this range right here, and we don't know what the market wants to do. So on a day like this, we have two plays. Number one, we don't trade. We just simply watch and we learn. Maybe is price going to do something? Is he going to show us, right? Option two, we come in and we wait for what price is going to do, and then we just simply react to it, which is honestly how we want to be a lot of times. That's why I love my system so much, because I don't have to predict shit. I can simply wait and react. So when the market gives me confirmation after confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, I can finally just say, all right, I think I'm good now, and hop in. So looking at this, one of our two options, the best option to choose today would probably be in between, where I look at this. Like this morning I hopped on, I'm like, bro, I am not going to trade today. Like this looks horrible. I'm just going to simply sit here and watch what price wants to do, see if there's anywhere I can apply my system. That's the best mindset to come into the charts with, right? So watching, what can we see? What PD arrays are close? Literally this high and this high. So let's go ahead and mark out our buy side and sell side liquidity. Buy side, sell side, buy side, sell side. So that's our external range liquidity. Now let's look at some in between stuff, right? We have these fair value gaps sitting right here. So I'm not going to market anything until we actually hop on the charts, but let's look on market open, the S&Ts that we had in place. We had two S&Ts put in play. We had this one right here from this low at 16 to 4 a.m., right? So somewhere in London session. And then we had this one that got created on market open, right? Where we had this index making a higher low, and then this one made a lower low. So now we have two SMTs to add to our bias, as well as ES is just a much stronger, very, very bullish asset, right? So we're just simply waiting to see, do we want to validate that bullish bias that the SMTs are kind of showing us, or is this simply just a result of huge consolidation and we're just watching what that actually does for us? So zooming in, 15 minutes really doesn't show us anything. Only thing this looks like to me is that we could have a potential sell model, right? So it would be looking something like this on ES and on NQ. But we don't really have much confirmation, and what we need to see is that pull higher, turtle soup, and then a short to the downside, right? So we'd still be getting a lot of confirmation if that was our bias, and we can easily switch up our bias, right? That's why my strategy is so great, bro, because I don't have to predict shit, bro. I can literally watch the market and see where it wants to go and then take trades off of it, right? So pulling into the day, we're just simply watching, right? What does price want to do? 1 minute opens right at 9:30. This shit is mad choppy. We just literally chop around in this range forever. Then eventually we end up manipulating this external low one more time of this small range externally, but it's internal on the bigger time frame, right? We put in an S&T with that, and then what we see is the start of NQ bull run for the day, right? NQ ends up kind of being the asset that's much stronger and kind of controls price flow for the day, whereas ES literally just sat in this range, right? ES sat in this range till about 10:30, where NQ had just completely dumped, right? So it manipulated and then it just ended up running. Now, a lot of guys in the Discord caught an inverse for value gap trade right here, where they just simply got tapped in right here and then they went for highs up here. I mean, it looked good and everything, but it's not really my style of trading. What I was eyeing here, though, was I was watching if one of these indexes wants to pull something like this, like NQ wants to go displace past this high, pull back, then that would have been my model right there. And then I eventually leave runners for this external draw. That's what I would have been trading, but we didn't have any kind of pullback, so I didn't end up getting involved, right? So looking, we end up seeing that displacement to the upside, and now at this point, about 10 o'clock, ES is sitting in this range, NQ is pushing higher, right? So now we know that our external market maker sell model bias is most likely going to be wrong, right? So we might want to look back at what the higher time frame is doing, what our bias is actually telling us, right? So just zooming out, at this point we were about here. So this creates change in the state to the upside. This is potentially validating this buy model now, because if you look at this as a buy model, look at what we have now. We have tons of generated liquidity to the left of us. We have 2 SMTs at the lows. We have manipulation even at the very bottom. So we have like, bro, we have like 3 or 4 SMTs, right? And we just open the market and we start pumping, so we could potentially see this as a direction for the day. I literally didn't predict this. My bias was wrong, but I'm still able to take advantage of this. That's what you get by reacting, not predicting. So you can mark for value gaps to the left of us, and at some point it looks like the market was respecting these, but ended up running through these. So there was really no trade until this happens, in my opinion. We see NQ pump sit in this range. ES kind of do the same, but it does it start at a later point, right? And then eventually right here at 12, literally both just take off for no reason. By the way, that was in the macro time, by the way, just gonna let y'all know, that was in the macro time that we started that pump. Looking at this, the only trade I see is this right here. After we have that big displacement to the upside, we come down, we make equal lows right here. So this could have been a turn off, but for me, I still see it as a little bit valid because the market still, if you understand how orders work, we still absorb orders at that level, right? If we tap that same level, we still absorb orders at that level. So although we didn't really see the pull through like we wanted, where we wanted to see the market displace through that and then push much higher, what we did end up seeing is a tap of that, and then we get a displacement to the upside. So where would your trade have been? Well, let's look. Here I see a couple different things. And by the way, this price is granular as shit. And I understand if you don't like to look at these charts, but for me, this is where I find the most consistency in my trading. I just want to recognize the model. To me, this looks like a market maker model or an AMD model, right? We have a ton of accumulation right here. We have a small manipulation, right? And then making equal lows, which I wouldn't want to see that get souped, but I don't really mind, especially when it's in this context, right? And then we end up seeing displacement to the upside. It ends up carrying us through all the way to this external draw, right? So where would your trade have been? Well, if you look, let's figure out where standard deviation wants to put us, right? We have 2 manipulation legs here. On the very much lower time frame, we'd have a manipulation leg right here. And on this little bit of a higher time frame, we'd have this manipulation leg right here. So let's look at where both want to do. So we know our behavior for standard deviation. We want to see price target 2 to 2.5 and then pull back to equilibrium. So what does price do on this small manipulation leg? On this small internal model, what price does is it hits 2 to 2.5 and it scales, pulls right back, taps equilibrium beautifully. My entry here would have either been on equilibrium or it would have been on the turtle soup of this little low right here. If you can find a confluence that's overlapping with equilibrium, that is a really good point to be. So if you want to look here and you want to say, okay, maybe look for like a 3-minute for value gap or something along those lines, maybe you took the trade on that volume imbalance, that still would have been the best spot for you, but it's somewhere right about here. And the true way I would have placed my take profit, so say I took turtle soup entry, I would have done stop loss at this low like I always do. Always, I don't play with the system, bro. I just keep it how it is every single time. First take profit at this high, right? Next, I'm going to be using this external or the bigger standard deviation to tell me where price wants to go. I have found standard deviations to be so useful with myself, with the strategy, and just predicting where price wants to go and actually react off of, right? Like right here, we see price hit 2 to 2.5, pull back to equilibrium. And this happens so often. And when price does it one time, I can expect it to start respecting the other levels of standard deviation, right? So I see this a lot of times on the really aligned perfect models, right? You have your entire pattern. Let's draw this out. We have our generated liquidity. We end up hitting our higher time frame PD array that's sitting somewhere like right here, say. So we end up hitting this. We create a manipulation leg and then we displace through this, right? So now if you would have zoomed in to this point, what you would have seen was a standard deviation that was perfectly aligned right here. So you'd have seen one that's sitting somewhere like this, right? Where 2 to 2.5 ends up pulling them to about this point, right? You've seen some kind of internal manipulation leg just like this, right? And then when market pulls back, most likely to equilibrium, to tap that change of the state, to tap whatever this equilibrium or the overlapping PD rate in this level is, that's when this internal model hits that point of equilibrium right here. If we look, equilibrium, right? This is where you take your trade. And then you align the external model's manipulation leg, so sitting somewhere like this, and you see, okay, look, 2 to 2.5. I mean, shit's pretty aligned. Take it to 2, take it to 2 to 2.5. That when you see it respected one time, usually in my back testing, I found that it respects it for the external model, it respects it for another time, right? So let's clear this up and let's get back to the actual trade recap, right? Zooming back lower, we just marked out this fib extension right here, this standard deviation level. The next take profit could have been up here if you're a big baller, but for me, I like to secure profit, so I probably would have placed it somewhere about this point, and I like to go for even R's when I do that, so I probably would have taken that 3. Not even trying to cherry pick here, but this is honestly just how I play my system. So your trade would have looked super efficient, right? And you go 3. So first take profit, second take profit, third take profit, baby. And these all got hit beautifully. Honestly, this was a great trade. I wish I was here for it, but in my opinion, I just hopped off the charts a little bit too early. I hopped off the charts at 11:10, and usually this is after I expect to see efficient action for the day. Because look at the charts from this perspective. At 11:10, we were literally sitting in this range doing nothing. And I had the idea in my mind that if we come down and sweep this, I wanted to see it get done before that 11:10 macro, because at that point I can expect price to start acting inefficient after we see no movement in the AM session and last hits macro doesn't end up delivering anything. So overall, not really much more to go on in this trade. It was a super simple market maker buy model, super efficient price action. It's exactly what I want to see in a day, but I just don't like that consolidation that we ended up having towards that 11:10 last hits macro area, right? I wish price could have been moving a little bit smoother, giving us some earlier moves and cleaner moves, but it's whatever, and we always have more opportunity. Always a great day to hop on the charts and just follow our system day after day. So the way that I want to end this video is I just want to quickly talk about some stuff for when you're in that desert season of your life where you're simply just relying on faith and trust that will get you through this journey and will see profitability. If you are unprofitable right now and you are doing everything that you know you should be doing, you are only following your system, you're not trading emotionally, and you are not taking 100 trades a day, you're maybe taking 3 trades every week. When you're in this phase and you're waiting to pass your funded, maybe you're not seeing the results that you want right now in your P&L. Maybe it's just been a week or two. Maybe you're past your funded, but you're just waiting on that payout and you're getting a little bit emotional. Just understand, this week's P&L, last week's P&L, this month's P&L is the exact same P&L. Is the exact same P&L that many other profitable traders have. Profitable traders don't just have consistent winning days. They don't just have literally every single day the month is green. 1 week of their P&L can literally look the exact same of your P&L. If you just understand that and you understand that what makes the profitable trader is not their state of profitability that makes the market move different for them. It makes setups present themselves in the market that you don't see or that you literally don't have on the market. If the market moves and there's no setup, no one is getting in that setup and no one with your system is getting in that setup. So you shouldn't care. You should not be looking at their system like it's like a girl that you're like staring at. Like, bro, you have to follow your system no matter what. It's like your school. You've chosen this school, so you have to stay with this school, and this is your system, right? Understand that your system will play out. It will present itself and it will take care of itself. Your job is to stay as strong in your entire life and stay and make yourself an insane, disciplined executor of your system. You must work to become the most perfect executor of your system. So that if you could describe your system perfectly and you could get a huge sample data of what your system would literally, like the most perfect description of your system, every trade that aligns with that system, if you could get sample data over the next year of what your system would do, your job is to make sure that you are aligned with that sample data every single day. Whether the system sees a system or whether the system sees a trade or not, you take it when it sees a trade. When there's no trade, you don't take it. Do not push yourself away from your system or misalign with your system. Don't take trades if they're not A+. Don't take trades if they have every confirmation or if they don't have every confirmation. Understand that your system will take care of itself. And if you are doing everything there is to doing and you are arriving at the daily actions of your future self, who is the profitable trader, who has the life that you want, then it is simply just a matter of time. Until you see all the things you want, until you see the success, the money, everything that you want, the fulfillment, it is a matter of time. But your job right now is to stop striving and arrive as that version of yourself and work every single day to, when you get on the charts, treat it seriously and act as a disciplined executor of your perfect system. That is all your job is. Your job isn't to make crazy calls, to do some crazy magic stuff that'll make you profitable, to grind really hard, take 100 trades. Your job is simply to be a disciplined executor of your system. That's it. The further you understand this and the sooner you understand this, the faster you will see profitability. It's really that simple. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys could learn something from this video. Please apply this stuff that I'm saying to your actual trading, and I hope that we can all grow as traders from watching this video. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys learned something good. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.